Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zymax, and I'm your chief show attendant. On behalf of the two hosts and the rest of the crew, welcome aboard Weird Wednesday Flight number 13, non-stop, from your current location to parts unknown. Our flight will be at about 2 hours, and we'll be flying at the speed of sound. At this time, make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position, and that your seat belt is currently fastened. Enjoy the ride.
Well, how's it going? Welcome to Weird Wednesday yet again. How's it going, Jamie?
It's going pretty good. How about you?
Oh, I took it easy today. It was rather hot here, so I didn't do a whole lot today. I just kind of took it easy. Had a couple little projects I had to finish up. Met some customers, traded out some boxes with them, and came in and took a nap.
Well, that's good. Sometimes you have to force yourself to get those little rests in, or you'll just keep going.
Yeah. I got up early this morning, went fishing for a while. So, got that early morning sun bake on the beach.
Oh, yeah. But you got to hear like the world wake up.
Yeah.
Like the crabs and the birds.
Yep. Yeah.
You have the sea otters and the seals and stuff start waking up.
I always have this one long-legged bird that comes and hangs out. He's like, "Oh yeah, there's a guy that gives me shrimp."
Aww. It's the same bird?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He seems to know me.
I love that.
How's everybody in the chat room been doing this week? Anybody have anything exciting happen? Been kind of I don't know. I wouldn't say slow week this week, but it's been a quiet week around town here. Well, if you look around, there's all kinds of things going on, happening. Car chases, this and that, bad accidents, wrecks everywhere. Because people drive like complete a-holes.
Like there's no consequences.
Yeah. I see this one intersection You know, it's like a 25-mile-per-hour zone, and there's a car upside down. I'm like, how does that happen? In a 25, you know, if you're doing the speed limit, even if you're going over the speed limit a little bit, how do
Well,
you
maybe
flip
the
your
other
car?
guy wasn't.
What's that?
Maybe the other guy wasn't, and like popped
Yeah,
his, and like turtled him.
yeah, I don't get it. Mm.
Why do you guys always do this stuff right?
Meow.
I really try to get this stuff out of
What's up, Katrina? How's it going? Long time no see.
the way. Hey, Katrina. They always wait.
Yeah, the old Nostradamus predictions. Who knows?
And he mentioned May 8th, and I was trying to remember, was that the HARP Aurora? I mean, we had a solar storm that HARP ran an experiment on the same day, thus creating more of an artificial glow to it. Not that they created the storm, since they fact checked all that. But I
Yeah,
think that was like May 8th. Because was it April 8th or April 10th that we had the eclipse?
yeah, I can't even remember. It seems like, on one hand, it seems like a year ago. On the other hand, it seems like 2 days ago. I don't know. Time. I think time is continually going faster.
I just couldn't remember if there was something else so significant that happened to us that so happened to have happened to us on that day,
Yeah.
different than the prediction. I don't even see Katrina though. Oh, she's on Facebook. I see it on the other chat.
So we had the big, exciting Boeing Starliner launch today that took off from Florida here. Made a big bada boom in the air for a bit.
And
So
what
what
was
are
the point of this one?
what are they? They're going into Boeing. Let's see what it says here on the NBC News site. This is third time's a charm for Boeing Starliner capsule, which finally blasted off with astronauts aboard for the first time ever Wednesday, kicking off a long-awaited high-stakes test flight to the International Space Station. So it's Boeing's entry into the space rocket.
We can't even get our own stratosphere straight.
Yeah.
Didn't two crash the other day or something?
Yeah, this is the third time for them. It's got people on it now, so hopefully it doesn't crash.
Yeah. Hopefully they got it together. Do you need help, little love known panda? Don't kangaroo punch love. Don't kangaroo punch the cat. He doesn't have back legs. Very good, panda.
Yeah, Zuriana, I've had some of those weird visions too. I haven't had them lately, thank goodness, but man, I've had some crazy ones. It's weird. I don't even know how to explain them. I'll just be sitting somewhere and like I'll just like look up and see something that I know is not there. Or, I don't know, maybe I'm in another dimension, maybe it is there, but I'll see something just like really strange. Like the whole surroundings, not just one thing in particular, just the whole setting that I'm in, and then it's like gone. I'm like, what the hell was that? I told you about that last time that happened, didn't I, Jamie?
Mm.
I was sitting somewhere, like going through a drive-through to get something to drink or something, Chick-fil-A or somewhere, and I looked down, I looked up, and everything looked like it had been like hit by a nuclear bomb. Looked like a scene out of PUBG, and it was gone. I'm like, what the hell what was that? Where did that come from?
Totally apocalyptic.
Yeah, what does that mean? I don't know. I don't understand.
That's how I
I'm
see it too. That's why when we played PUBG, I was like, "This is what it's going to look like.
like, yeah,
This is what they're getting us ready for with this game."
yeah,
Except for the battle royale, be last standing, unless you're like one of them wanting to be last standing.
yeah.
Like, don't look up. It's basically the same concept. Yeah, intuition is getting strong right now, especially because the solar flares too. We're having so many solar storms that jacks up your intuition, um, jacks it up more.
Yeah.
Anybody else been getting their hair just standing up? I want to know this. Like in the past 2 weeks, are you just sitting there and all of a sudden, and there's no thunderstorms or nothing, and the hair in your arms will either stand up, or you'll feel like the little hairs on your body stand up, or even if you have fine enough hair, that hair start to stand up?
I've had that happen a few times
In the last 2 weeks?
in the
Well,
last couple of days.
okay, well, yeah, it was like 2 days ago where like my mom and I were sitting there too, and she's like, "I told you, didn't I?"
Yeah,
And she's like, "My hair just stood up," and I was like, "Look now for the lightning," because that thing where we just, well, if your
yeah,
hair stands up, you might get hit by lightning. I'm like, we're in the house though. Last time we were outside, but this time we're sitting in the house, and I don't have hair on my arms, but I got the goosebumps, and like these little hairs were like you could feel them like standing up on my head, like a charge.
yeah,
And then I have these maps that this guy, they almost look like little ant hills, but supposedly they're locations of these different radio towers showing where these microwaves are going off
oh, wow.
east to west coast in these like pulses, like in the middle of the night. There's like this anomaly thing that I don't really understand, but when they've been showing this anomaly, this black anomaly, there has been like the tsunamis and like other weird weather, so they don't know what that is, causing that. But this microwave thing with these towers, the way they light up and they pulsate at certain times, people are saying like, "Oh, we're getting microwave," or the people have a lot of theories because it's like, what is going on? Some of them will actually look like little rays of light shooting out,
Yeah,
little lasers, but I posted them. I'm just now learning about this myself. So like but it's interesting and something I think worth looking into.
yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Like when I used to fly kites a lot, when I'd be kite buggying or whatever, and I'd have my kites up, and I'd be going down the beach or something, and it would be like one of those overcasty, kind of almost stormy looking days. It was weird because I could always tell if there was a storm coming because my kite lines would start like crackling, like almost sounding like bacon cooking or something.
Really?
Weird, yeah. You could hear this, like, it might be time to put the kite down.
No way. Because of the metal on your kite at the top?
I have
Like
no,
whatever makes your kite hold together?
yeah, there was no metal on it anywhere, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
What a trip. I think I'm going to go in now.
Yeah.
I
I think I'm
that's
gonna
a
land the kites
good
before I
trip.
turn into Benjamin Franklin or something. Send the key up. Yeah, like that last time I was out fishing, the wind started blowing. I'm like, no big deal. Started raining a little bit. No big deal. The wind started blowing harder. No big deal. Rain started pouring. I'm like, it's hot out here. I'm at the beach. I'm going to get wet anyways. No big deal. Then I heard thunder and I'm like, okay, time to go. I'm out there with, 12-foot surf
Big
rod.
ass surf rod in the sand.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to hang out by these lightning rods and push bait. No, thanks.
Your fish is cooked.
Yeah,
Like, bite on. It's like, well done.
exactly. Yeah, I went out there this morning bright and early. Little app that I use, that tells the best fishing days. And I joined this little online community thing that has all this software, to pick the best fishing days and the best spots.
Is
And
it
they
AI?
I don't know how it works really.
Because I've seen some AI things that pull together like guesstimates for these type of things,
Yeah.
even for like where to find rocks and stuff, that are pretty good.
Well, they blew it today. Said an excellent day of fishing. I didn't catch a damn thing. Nothing. And like I set out there from like 6:30 to 9:30, and I'm like, I'm out of here. Usually I give it, 30 minutes if I haven't caught something. But today I was just like, I'm just gonna chill on the beach, and yeah, nothing. Nothing at all. And it wasn't just me. There was like several other people fishing in there, and nobody.
So it wasn't like your spot you happen to be in or nothing.
Yeah. A couple of guys, young guys, came up and they're like, "Hey man, have you caught anything?" I'm like, "Nope." And they're like, "We caught one little catfish. We've been out here since way before the sun came up." I'm like, well, glad to know it's not just me. Yeah, we're way down the beach there. We ain't caught nothing. Yeah. Yeah, I remember, speaking of tornadoes, I remember me and one of my best friends, we were working on his boat. I was over there doing some fiberglassing on his boat. It was like after work one evening, and it was like getting on towards sundown, and it got dark, and the weather was weird, but I didn't really think much of it. And we're out there, I'm doing fiberglassing on this boat, and all of a sudden the wind, like, it was blowing pretty gusty, and all of a sudden it kind of stopped, and then it started blowing again, and I heard this noise that sounded like a freaking train, and we were like, what the hell is that? And then we hear this pow pow pow.
The glass?
No, it was pine trees snapping over, and we realized, holy crap, there's a tornado. And it like came right through across the street from his house, and like skipped his house, went around the backside of his house through the woods back there. And we like dove under the boat, and we were freaking out. Shit was flying everywhere. I was like, wow, that came out of
nowhere.
I went over there the next day, because he had limbs and all kinds of crap down and trees in his yard. And it was crazy. Right across the street where it was just woods, it was like the width of like a football field, like 50 yards wide, just like just a path through the woods where this thing came through. And all that snapping, popping was trees just pow, 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 just popping over. It's crazy. Crazy how weather can do that. Just came out of nowhere too. Yeah, I usually get along with the Farmer's Almanac and check it out.
Love farm. I got one. No, that's the last year's. I was going to get one this year, but guess how much they want to charge for it now?
I know, man. The price went up like 3 times, triple what it used to be.
$17 they wanted for the Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, like I was in CVS the other day and I was standing in line waiting to get a prescription, and they got all these magazines and all these impulse buys thing as as you go through the line. And I'm like, oh, I see this magazine. It was, I don't know, like some
Was it the
recipe.
Time magazine with
Yeah, they had that, the Time
there
magazine.
was the Time magazine with the astrology I wanted so bad, but it was like $28 with these
Yeah.
like beautiful pictures, something like that.
Yeah, I picked up this one. It was some sort of recipes and stuff, energy, blah, I don't know what it was, but it was just a magazine. I picked it up. It was $17.99. I'm like, what the hell? No thanks. I was like, when did magazines go to like idiotic prices? I ain't paying $18 for a freaking magazine.
You can't even justify that. No matter how I looked at it, I couldn't justify the almanac knowing I can just look it up. And I'm still one of those people that I like the feeling of holding the books. I like I like my tide charts, my books, everything to be like tangible.
Yeah.
That Time magazine or whatever that was beautiful.
Yep.
It's like, fuck, that could be a hardback book, like.
Yeah, it better be something for almost $30. It better be something. It better have some pictures in there you can frame.
What I used to do was the Rite Aid, the little strip, stores like that, the Rite Aid and Long's, blah blah blah, all had their dumpsters at kind of in the same spot. So at a certain time of the month is when they would go and throw all of the last month's magazines out in the back.
Yeah.
And so then I would drive around to the back and peruse the magazines. They're by their dumpsters and all that. But I would grab like the last issue. So I'd always wait and get most stuff like gossip mags or something to read like on my lunch breaks, because this was before like early the internet and all that, like on your phone. And get magazines like that. But I stopped, doing all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they've shut down a lot of printing presses, a lot of paper factories, because like one the major paper factory, mostly the purpose is printing the packaging for frozen foods in the boxes and stuff. They shut them down, saying there was a chemical emitted in the air that was just so toxically horrible. And that was like a few weeks after that train derailment, that train burn, which was so stupid. And then they shut down, it was the box plant and one of America's biggest paper mills.
Nuts. Crazy, crazy, I tell you. Oh, well, what are you going to do?
I used to always be a little scrounge like that.
Yeah. Remember when Sam used to live here, we'd go dumpster diving. We'd hit all kinds of places.
Oh, heck yeah.
Her favorite one was in back of Ulta. We'd
go yeah.
Find all the kinds of stuff they'd pitch out.
Like the samples and the makeup and
yeah.
There was a thrift store and they had, would only take stuff during the day because they were choosy about what they wanted to take. People would wait till the nighttime and then they would just go dump all their stuff out behind this building. So the next morning, the poor people that work there, and nothing that was left at night, even if it was good, they would keep. If it was put out at nighttime and they didn't check it in, it automatically would go into a dumpster.
Yeah.
So I got permission from them because I used to always go in there, and they're like, yeah, if you're back here at night, you be careful, but if you see something you like, just take it because we're just going to throw it away anyway. And so I would go, wait, and you see these people jump out of the train tracks and come out like zombies. Oh, I called it like the spot, go out there with my Durango, pop up the trunk, go running through, to see like what there was. I got some hella good stuff. That's where I got my china. I got fine china and silver. Like somebody had died, and somebody just took all their bins of stuff and just threw it right into a dumpster.
Yeah.
I still have like war paperwork and stuff, like their box of stuff. I saved it too because I was like, I can't just throw this guy's box away.
Yeah, I'm always
Your record collection.
Oh wow. I'm always looking for the side hustle, I was watching some videos the other day. This one guy just does he does yard sales and estate sales and stuff like
Why
that.
did flea markets with this stuff?
Yeah. This guy goes, he's like, yeah, we're going, come garage sailing with me today. And the video, and he bought like a bunch of brand new fishing lures. They were old lures, but they were brand new, still in a box, and some guy had died or whatever, and bought them for like $2 a piece. And he turns around and sells them, on Marketplace and eBay for like 10 to 15 bucks a piece. A lot of them he sold for like $5, but there's a few that, he got like 15 bucks for. And he bought all this Coleman camping gear. Stuff was brand new. It's in the box, never been used. And he's like, it was like a stove and I don't know, one of those portable showers and a device that, hose that goes to like the gas can and all kinds of stuff. And he's like, how much for everything? And the lady was like, $20. He's like, all right. He bought it. He put it on Marketplace. He ended up getting like $100 for it. This dude said he makes like $500 to $800 a week just reselling stuff that he buys at garage sales. So I'm like, damn, maybe I should just take like, invest $100 or $200 and go garage sale and find some stuff to sell. Like,
it gets to be such a hassle though, because I did that for so long, and that's why right now my storage has a lot of the leftover. Like my ex-husband and I did it. Me and Jeff did it. We did flea markets, all sorts of stuff like that.
It can get out of hand really quick.
Yeah, and so like at the end of the day, sometimes, especially with clothes, we would just leave like a whole pile. At the end of the day, it's like, here, free, take all, like whatever we didn't want to like pack up.
Yeah.
But like before, I used to make hella money off eBay doing things like that, and then selling like on the side. But then there were people like my neighbor downstairs, my cousin's neighbor downstairs. They were having a baby. And they're not the type of people that require like brand new, like hoity-toity stuff,
Yeah.
I was able to find them a whole baby setup, like because they didn't have money and stuff. They're poor. They're kind of on drugs. And I got them a crib. I got them the changing table, a stroller. I got them basic necessities that you would need for like a new baby. And then like when my cousin had to move, if he needed a futon, I found a futon. I'm all coming over with the Durango and a futon. He's like, no way. I'm like, I got you.
Nice.
I can find anything. You never know. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah. I
had no shame in them dumpsters.
Yeah, my brother he's like the king of dumpster diving. All the time, come out there. I'm like, oh, you got a new stereo, huh? Yeah, I found it in the trash. Like, he's always dumps like on the way to work. Oh, he sees something, pulls over, throws it in the back of the car.
Like the Livermore trash days, everybody puts all this stuff out front in the bags. Oh my gosh, I would go and look in the boxes for like electronics and things. It's on the curb. It's garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. The other day, I've got this little compressor, and came from Harbor Freight or whatever, and it was, it served its purpose. I've had it for several years, but it broke down. So I'm like, okay, so I took it apart and I figured out what was wrong with it, and I fixed it, sort of. It lasted for a little bit, and then the same thing happened. Fixed it again. 3 times I fixed it, and I couldn't find the part that I needed, so I kept like cutting this little pipe shorter and shorter, and it was just too short. And the other day I was working on my tractor and had, I told you about that when I was venting to you. Yeah, I just flipped out and picked up the compressor and just hurled it out in the middle of the yard. It was funny. Yesterday, these guys came by and they stopped and they're like, "Hey, what was wrong with that compressor that you had out here by the side of the road?" And I was like, "Oh," I'm like, "Oh, damn, it's gone." They're like, "Yeah, it's in the back of my car."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah, I can tell you exactly what's wrong with it and how to fix it." I just got irritated the other day and flipped out and just threw it across the yard. But yeah, plug it in, it works fine. Just doesn't compress air, and I can tell you exactly why. But yeah, there's people that always. I had this big thing that sat on the side of my house forever. It was like a thing that held a heavyweight bag, like a big kick bag,
Yeah.
and it was just on the side of my house. And I just, finally I was like, I'm dragging this damn thing to the side of the road, I drug it out there. That thing wasn't there like an hour. It was gone. And I'm thinking, man, the trash man's not going to take this thing. It's huge, There's like pipe that's this big around, and it's like, 8 feet tall and weighed 100 pounds. And the trash man ain't going to take this shit. The trash man never even saw it.
We'll take it to like weld it for something else or scrap it.
Yeah.
It's like anything. If there's any like vacuum or whatever that I don't want to have to dump, I just go put it on the curb. If it's still there by the next day, I'll go dump it. But chances usually are it's gone by the next time I go check to even put the free sign on it,
Yeah, I screwed up. It was, I don't know, a week or two ago. I don't know if I said that last week, but I was cruising down the road. My neighbor has a Troy-built lawn tractor, and the deck on it is rusted out. It needs a new deck. And I'm cruising down the road, one street over from my house. I'm driving by. There's the exact same Troy-built mower sitting out by the curb, And I'm like, oh, damn, I should go home, grab the trailer, come back over here and throw that on here, because I could have, even if it didn't run, I could have took the deck off of it, put it on their lawnmower, and it would have worked fine. And 30 minutes later, I went back. That thing was gone. Snooze, you lose.
I've drugged some pretty big things. Remember that stupid sewing machine? Because it was the old one. I don't know what I'm doing with it. It's just old in the cabinet I was wanting before. I was like, oh my gosh, jamming it into the back of my car. It said free on it.
Yeah.
My back is so bad. I get this burst of energy. I'm picking up, shoving it in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, look what I got. Drove around with that for like 3 months before I took it to storage. I don't know what I'm doing with that. But I looked up the prices and it's worth some money.
Yeah. Yeah, the only downside about the guys that came by yesterday, those 2 young guys, and they're talking to me and they're like, oh, wow, you got like a lot of woodworking tools in my garage door.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm like picking up everything of value and putting it behind locked doors yesterday.
Yeah, and like hide stuff behind, like when we have people come over for stuff, always hides, stuff behind boxes or anything, because they will look around and say. So one guy was like waiting around for his friend to show up, and he starts looking, and I'm just like, I'm like a bulldog in there on him, like, what you doing? What you doing? Oh, so you just moved, did you? Oh, so I bet your kid left, to keep him all occupied.
Yeah.
It's like he's, sitting there scoping stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, like when I sell boxes and stuff, I usually meet people like up at the grocery store. There's a bunch of different Publix shopping centers all around St. Johns County, and I'll just meet them in the parking lot there. It's a big, huge parking lot. There's always room way out back by the road or something. And this one guy texted me the other day, and he's like, "Can I come to your address?" And I said, "I'll just meet you at a store. What side of town are you on? And I'll save you some mileage or whatever." "I would rather come to your address." I'm like, I'd rather meet you at a store.
Yeah, I'd rather meet you in a local, like, public area.
Yeah.
Not where I live.
He's like, "Well, I want to buy 6 planters." I'm like, "Okay, no big deal.
I'll bring you 10.
Yeah.
But it ain't going to be at my house.
Yeah. And these people that bought some a few days ago, they bought them, and I met them up at the Publix, and I got there, and I just grabbed 3 boxes, and I got there, and I realized one of them had a little split in it in one of the side panels, and the guy said something about it, and I was like, "Hey, if you want to follow me back to my house, I'll switch it out with another one for you." And he's like, "Whoa, yeah, that'd be cool if you don't mind strangers coming to your house." I was like, "Yeah, that's usually why I meet people up here, but you can kind of tell some people are cool, and
he should have been more tripped out about going to your house. Like, what's this guy going to do to me when I go over there?
Yeah.
He's got saws and shit, man."
Yeah. That was funny though. They got him home, and I've been getting people to send me pictures, like once they get plants and stuff put in there, so I can add them on my page or whatever.
Oh, once they like set it up to show what they look like.
Yeah,
that's good. You could do that. But for your Etsy, you need those in your reviews.
Yeah. And anyways, the lady was like, "Yeah, we thought these were a little bigger than they were. We didn't realize they weren't quite big enough." And they had a pot in one with a citrus tree in it. And I was like, "Well, how big do you need them?" I said, "If you want, I'll just make you some bigger ones, and you can come back, and I'll just trade you out even for them." And they were like, "You do that for us?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no big deal." Try to make my customers happy, I'm gonna be building boxes anyways. Might as well build a few a little bit bigger for you if that makes you happy.
Yeah,
so
it's like a little custom order, makes them happy.
Yeah. They came back and got them today, and they're like, "Yeah, if we buy any more planters, we're getting them from you, man. Thank you so much." They were all stoked.
Right on. Because that's that customer service, that little extra touch that people miss nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times customer service doesn't even exist anymore.
Attention to detail on wanting to make them happy. You could just be a jerk and say, or just not even just be like, "No, I got what I got. That's what I have." But you knew realistically you could do that, and it would make these people happy, and they'll tell their friends maybe.
Yeah.
Why not?
It was
funny. A little bit bigger. I'll make it a little bit bigger.
The UPS guy shows up the other day, and he's handing me a package, and he's like, "You been selling a bunch of those?" And I'm like, "Yeah, been staying pretty busy." He's like, "Yeah, I was on Marketplace the other day, and I saw your ad," and I'm like, "Hey, I delivered to that guy." So he ordered some stuff too.
That's cool. So what's we got on the docket tonight?
Yeah.
I could have went like way weird crazy, and I decided not to.
Well, this first one, you know.
That looks like poop to me. But y'all remember when I did the article about or one of us did the article about the liquid robots that could go through the liquid metal robots that could go through air vents, things like that, grab things and change form and all that. So it's kind of, I don't know, the same kind of thing, except controlled by magnets. Researchers in Hong Kong create a soft robot made of magnetic slime. Researchers at the Chinese University of Hong Kong have created a soft robot made of slime containing magnetic particles, which can be manipulated using external magnets. The magnetic particles are toxic, but have theoretically been made safe to enter the human body after being covered in a layer of silicone compound, although further safety testing will be needed in the future. The team in Hong Kong hope the slime will one day be used to collect objects which have been accidentally swallowed. And then they give like more about the team's research and everything. What they're saying too, that they can actually go through like narrow chambers like in your brain, like in different places, and like actually like take stuff out of your body, so it goes beyond just like swallowing stuff and getting it back out.
Weird.
But we have a little video on it.
Got the space poopy on me. Wow, that's just weird.
He's like, yoink. And it's self-healing.
Terminator.
So when your kid swallows a quarter, you like go send some slime down them. And then how do you get the slime back out?
Exactly. Hold still. Swallow this.
I couldn't find very many articles. I didn't spend too long trying, but a lot of them were videos, and I didn't feel like watching a bunch of videos.
Strangeness. Strangeness.
Bless you, baby. Bless you. Bless you.
Oh, there's this one. Mystery surrounds disappearance of bodies on Mount Everest. There's bodies on Mount Everest? Why, yes, there is. Let's see. How do I get back to my article notes, bricks, article 1? There we go. Questions have been raised over the vanishing of bodies of two prominent British explorers from the mountain. Everest, officially the highest mountain above sea level, needs no introduction. These days, thousands of people flock to the Himalayas every year for a chance to reach the summit. But 100 years ago, reaching the top of Mount Everest was a feat that had never been accomplished, and something to be attempted only by the most elite and foolhardily of the world's best climbers. George Mallory and Andrew Irvin were two such climbers. In 1924, the pair had set off in an attempt to reach the top, but never returned. To this day, it's unclear whether they actually did reach the summit, a feat that would have meant that they, not Edmund Hillary, who is credited with reaching the top of the summit in 1953, if they actually made it there first. Now, another mystery has also presented itself. What happened to their bodies? Mallory's remains were discovered on the mountain in 1999, and there was a reasonable belief that Irvin's had also been found in the same area. But then, several years later, successive climbers making their way to the summit realized that neither of the bodies seemed to be there anymore. Irvin's body is almost certainly no longer up there, said climber Jamie McGinnis. We gave it a good search, even with drones, and we spotted several other bodies, so we know we weren't missing anything of the right size. Other climbers also agree with this assessment. We had GPS coordinates for where the bodies were, and said mountain guide Mark Sanat. I feel if Mallory's body was still there, we would have definitely seen it. It doesn't make any sense. Why remove the body? So what could have happened to the bodies of the two men? Did local authorities recover the remains and take them away? Or could there be another explanation? The search for answers continues.
Wait, do they just leave the bodies up there?
Yeah, I guess so.
So if you die on Mount Everest, they're not going to like get you down?
I guess not.
Maybe that's what Jetpack Man can be used for.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, there's nobody's going to climb up there to get you. So, I mean, they could maybe use a
Like
helicopter, but I think, I mean, they said there's several other bodies up there of people
wouldn't they want people at least identified, like for closure for their families? Yeah, we found your, whoever frozen to the mountain. We just can't get them down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are they saying that nobody has climbed the top of Mount Everest?
No, they have now, but
that's what I thought. I was going to say, I thought people like totally have made it to the top.
Yeah, but years and years ago, they unclear.
So people hiking just like hike past frozen like bodies.
Yeah, apparently so.
They're like, and might like stick it in the forehead.
Yeah, really. Clunk. Ooh, he's frozen solid.
Or they're like grabbing on and it's like a hand sticking out.
I don't know.
I've got a lot of questions about this.
I'm probably never going to know for sure because I don't see myself climbing Mount Everest anytime
soon. Well, no, there's nothing in the world that would even make me care to do that.
I mean, you look at the picture of it. It's like, it's a mountain. But then when you realize really how big it really is,
and what it entails,
and like it's not just like walking up a hill. It's like serious climbing. Yeah, I want nothing to do with that.
And it's not like you're going to find some badass crystals like on the way, so you're excited. Like when I go to my mountain, it's a horrible hike. It's a hike from hell, but because I know the payoff and I know it's guaranteed, I don't even care because it's a sure thing.
Yeah.
That just looks miserable.
Yeah.
Though over in a helicopter might be fun.
Yeah, it'd be one way to see it. I'll just take some pictures.
Yeah.
Gary has his son who passed away on Mount Everest. Did they leave him there? Did they bring him down?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just chilling up there. Oh, man. True.
Those are like people like defrost out and become like Encino Man.
I mean, like if I would never do something like that because I'm just not into it, and I'm not into like heights, so I would die of a shit attack or heart attack or something probably first. But I know there's people that are seriously into climbing and stuff, and I mean, it happens. Like if you slip and fall or whatever, and you die up there. I mean, in a way, it's kind of a cool place. If they just left you up there frozen in the mountain, that's what you're into. seems like a cool place to be buried,
Yeah, like where you'd want your ashes thrown anyway.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, I've had friends that have passed away in the ocean, surfing and whatnot. And some of them, a few of them have never been found. And it's like, hey, you die doing what you love doing. Maybe that's a cool place to stay, I don't know. Just a thought.
Craig says, remember the Donner Party. The Donner Party's when we drive up to Nevada, you pass, Donner Pass
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
I think they're still there. For some reason, I'm almost thinking they were screwing with it or going to, but there's still people suspended at the bottom on their hands and knees praying like this and like carriages and stuff. So, like, whenever I would go over that pass and look at Donner Lake, all I could think about were the frozen dead bodies still suspended at the bottom.
Wow. Yeah, it's a serious feat to climb that.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just like,
It is,
hey, we're gonna walk up a big mountain today. No, it's a little more detailed than that.
I did it at the gym.
Yeah. I can climb the rock wall at the gym. I should be able to do it, right?
Like
No.
Tybo is kickboxing.
I've been gonna watch that movie several times, but I never have. I used to be a big movie fan, and I don't know, the last 5 years or so, it's like I haven't watched very many movies at all.
Mm-mm.
I watch, one or two every now and again. But yeah, I mean, I used to watch movies like crazy. God, I still have like over 1,000 DVDs, movie DVDs, just sitting in boxes out in my garage.
I've got a story of a Michigan woman found living inside a grocery store. Oh, a grocery store sign, excuse me, with a computer, a desk, and a coffee maker. So people are just getting very creative.
And a sign. Oh, I was gonna say, I mean, living inside the grocery store, I could see that, and yeah, you'd never run out of food.
Make
Have
like a little studio.
But yeah, I didn't realize she was living in the grocery store sign.
A Michigan woman was found living inside a sign on top of a grocery store recently in a case that a local police officer said makes you scratch your head. The unidentified 34-year-old woman, who police said was homeless, had only been living inside a grocery store sign for a year.
Well, she wasn't homeless.
She also had a desk, a coffee maker, a computer, and a printer. And why do they say unidentified? Because she's homeless, she has no identification. She has fingerprints. Why won't she say who she is?
We found her, but we don't know who she is. Maybe she's an alien.
She was discovered on April 23rd when contractors at the Midland, Michigan store noticed someone was running an extension cord up to the roof where there's a plug-in. It's a story that makes you scratch your head. Just somebody living up in a sign. Police officer Brennan Warren told reporters Thursday there was some flooring that was laid down, a mini desk, her clothing, a Keurig coffee maker, a printer, and a computer. Things you'd have in your home. He added, I honestly don't know how she was getting up there. She didn't indicate either, explaining there was no sign of a ladder. Brennan explained that the 5-foot wide, 8-foot high sign is accessible from the roof of the store and has a door. He continued, we provided her with some information about services in the area. She apologized and continued on her way. Where she went from there, I don't know. The woman told
her computer and her printer.
That's what I'm wondering. Did she take it all or leave it? The woman told police she'd been living inside the sign for Family Fair Grocery Market while working elsewhere. The woman isn't facing any charges and agreed to vacate the sign. Family Fair's parent company, Spartan Nash, said in a statement that employees offered the woman the utmost compassion and professionalism in their response, adding, ensuring there is an ample, safe, ensuring there is ample, safe, affordable housing continues to be a widespread issue nationwide. Their community needs to partner in solving. So they want to identify who she is.
I wonder how she figured out.
That there was
But
like a plug-in and to get up there, and like, did she still work for them?
yeah, was she just walking by one day, pushing her, grocery cart, and looked up and said, "Hey, I bet I could live in that sign." I mean, how did where's the background info on this? Like, and how did she get up there? And like, how did she
Like,
know there was room in there? And yeah,
that there's a door to the back, and that there's a plug even to plug her stuff in. Was that just a bonus? Like, she's like, I can live up here on this roof in this little, like, instead of on the sidewalk, I've got my own little arch,
yeah,
to be under, and then realized it was a better setup than first thought.
I'll be on the roof. I'm safe from
Where she
zombies.
get a Keurig coffee maker
Yeah, really.
and the Keurig cups? Let's get a job.
I not always, but I often think I'm just like cruising around, and I'm looking at things. I'm looking at the surroundings, and I'm like, if I was homeless, where would I sleep tonight here? I don't know why I think, but yeah, I'm like, where would be a safe place to like crash? Would I go to the woods, to the homeless camp, or would I want to be on my own? What would I do in this situation?
Yeah.
Anybody else think like that?
All the time. And I have like several things set up. Plan A, B, C, D.
Yeah. Craig, does that movie have something to do with a bear too? Or am I thinking of a different movie?
Home Alone? Oh, or the other one.
Yeah. Yeah. Glad to know I'm not the only one that has weird thoughts like that.
You have to, because it's like, where would I go? Which way would I head? Like, which direction? Where, like, PUBG, like, where am I going to have the most cover?
Yeah.
And not be exposed to elements where I can have some sort of, like, being a kid and making forts and knowing how to find the best spots to make forts.
Yeah.
We had full-on outdoor little homes that we built with sticks and things, like, where we had, this is the kitchen area, this is the sitting area. Like, we made little rooms and everything in these, like, hedges that we burrowed out. And
Yeah.
all the camping that I've done where it's like, okay, we're not bringing anything but, just these few things. And we're going to see, like, if we can survive a whole weekend just like this, and just finding stuff that you find and just, like, making a whole, by the end, you have, like, this whole little, like, home that you don't want to even, like, tear down.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's just leave this for the next people. This is pretty tight.
Grandma's Sausage. Yeah, I saw that movie.
Grandma's Sausage.
Yeah. I was sort of homeless one time. Sort of. Well, yeah, I didn't have a home, but I had a shop, and I made a little room in my shop, and that's where I lived for about a year almost. Was in my shop back in the 80s.
I was going to live in my storage compartment.
Yeah. Yeah. The cool thing about living in my shop, I was like, I had a coffee maker, microwave. There was a bathroom. I wasn't out in the rain or the weather. Got hot in there sometimes, but I was never late for work. You just wake up, roll out of bed, put my shoes on, and start working.
There you go.
What have I got up here? Oh, here we go. Veterans left struggling after work at secretive Area 52 made them sick. What could possibly make you sick working on secretive stuff? That's why it's a secret, I guess. Air Force technicians who studied captured technology. Wait a minute. They said we don't have captured technology, but yet these guys are studying captured technology. At Area 52, not 51, now we got Area 52, are now suffering from health complications. You have most likely heard of Area 51, but what about Area 52? This is a name assigned to a highly secretive U.S. military installation situated around 70 miles to the northwest of Groom Lake in Nevada. It's not that secret. We're talking about it now, so the secret's out. Also known as the Tonopah Test Range, the base is generally believed to be in use today as a nuclear weapon delivery systems research, storage, and testing facility. But back in the 70s, it was also believed to be house. It was also believed to house captured Soviet fighter jets. Mark Ellie, a former Air Force technician who once worked on these jets at the site, has since revealed that in later years he has suffered from a mirage of health problems as a result of exposure to radiation and various types of nuclear tests that had been going on there. Upholding the national interest was more important than my own life, he told CBS News. Well, was it? Was it, Mark? It scarred my lungs. I got cysts on my liver. I started having lipomas. I think it's lipomas. Tumors inside my body I had to remove. The lining in my bladder was shed. The problem is made worse by the fact that he's unable to request healthcare assistance from the government because, as far as they're concerned, none of this ever happened. He even signed a non-disclosure agreement to the effect at the time he was working there. Eli isn't the only former Area 52 worker to be suffering from radiation exposure. Dave Crete, who worked as a military police officer at the site, was also exposed to the same radiation and now has multiple health issues ranging from breathing problems to tumors. While billions of dollars in federal assistance has been made available to other government employees that worked at the base, the particular group of men is simply ineligible due to the secretive nature of their work. It makes me incredibly mad and hurts me too because they're supposed to have my back, said Eli. I had theirs. I want them to have mine. Yeah, it never happened. Sorry you're sick, dude. But you didn't work here. Government got your back, right? No. Weird weather in Oklahoma City. What's the weather doing there? What's your weather like tonight? It says it's 78 here. I was looking at the temperature earlier here and it said it was only like 86, but good Lord, man, it felt like way hotter than that here today. It one of those days where even though it may have been only been 86, if the sun, you could just, I don't know, the intensity of the
It was
sun.
like UV was like very high, 10 plus when I looked today.
Yeah.
But it was like brighter and hotter than that.
Yep. Yeah, the actual, when I lived in my shop, it was in a storage unit. I mean, I had a big area. It wasn't just like a 5x10. It was, I had several big, whatever warehouses, whatever. It was a storage unit though. They were 10 by 30s and I had 1, 2, 3, 4, I had like 5 of them.
see what's we got. What's we got. Mm. And it's like, could this be radiation from war? Could it be radiation from like a sun explosion? Like, I do think, sometimes it's like, oh, how is that civilization so smart and we're so dumb? Like they were smarter than us. It's like, well, is that just how far they got before, everything's, reset? So it's like one theory I thought when I saw this, but it's like, well, it could be like possibly sun radiation, maybe. But
God, speaking of sun radiation, it was 108 where Sherry is today. That sounds like she was in hell. Sorry.
oh my god.
108. Yeah, I would have stayed inside.
After like when it gets to be like 108, 110, 112, it doesn't feel any different.
Yeah.
That's when hot is just hot. 113 and all that. I told you about Fresno where it feels like you can't breathe.
Mm.
Mm-mm. And then they're cutting people's like air off saying, oh, we're worried about potential wildfire that could happen. So we're going to take precautions and just cut your electricity just in case. Out here by the lab the other day on the biggest, windiest day we've had, where we have wind gusts of 16, 18, 20-mile-hour gusts coming in all directions, they did a controlled burn. All of a sudden, there's like 400 acres of our land up in smoke. Like, whose idea was to do a controlled burn on the windiest flipping
Yeah.
day of the year?
Crazy.
Crazy. Just trying to get these cookies off so I can get to my article. But I can't figure out the trick just yet. Okay.
Cookies.
A maverick,
Cookies.
cookies. A maverick scientist who maintains that civilization on Earth was kick-started by a race of alien gods, says there's evidence of an ancient nuclear war. Speaking on the Joe Rogan podcast, entrepreneur and conspiracy theorist Billy Carson claims that the archaeological site in Pakistan contains clear evidence of a nuclear explosion. The buildings turned to glass. He said sand turned to glass. Oh, the sand turned to glass. And the bodies are still laying in the street right now. Billy, who has a science degree from MIT, said. The skeletons, some of which were found in positions suggesting they had been holding hands when they died, apparently show higher than expected levels of radiation and have never been scavenged by animals. The ancient city, which prospered for thousands of years before being deserted some 3,700 years ago, was rediscovered in the 1920s. It's thought to have been the most advanced city of its time with remarkably sophisticated civil engineering and urban planning. But Carson claims that the ancient Harappan civilization was far more advanced than most modern archaeologists will admit. There's bodies that are sitting on the edge of steps next to their own buildings that they lived in. And the building has turned to glass, he said. It makes me think of like lightning strikes when they hit the beach and then like it turns the sand to glass. He believes the remains could have only been formed by 3,000 Celsius temperature weapons fire, and that conventional archaeology has no explanation for the city's sudden destruction. Some have suggested that it was devastated by an extraterrestrial impact, similar to the Tunguska event, but Carson discounts that possibility. Their bones would have been splattered apart and broken up into pieces, he continued. While the remains found at the site seem relatively complete and undisturbed, not even showing the kind of injuries consistent with swords or clubs. They don't have any evidence of any injury of any kind of any injury of any kind of attack or any cutting from swords or anything, he adds, saying that the only historical accounts of the cataclysms speak of an evil wind that swept over the city. Carson believes an extraterrestrial race of giant humanoids that he calls the Anunnaki landed in ancient summer before the dawn of history, planning to mine gold for some unspecified purpose. He claims that a megalithic structure in South Africa known as Adam's Calendar was built by these beings as part of a gold mine. And that big hole is says the city's design was far more complex and sophisticated than other settlers in that area. Ancient carvings on the stone tablets supposedly tell how these alien beings went to war with one another. At some point, one of the groups decided to genetically modify humanity's distant ancestors to create a slave race to mine gold for them. Gold, he points out, is almost useless compared to other metals, but even in prehistory was considered highly valuable. It's only today that its unusual properties have made it essential for modern electronic devices, and it may be useful in future geoengineering projects to combat climate change. He thinks that the Anunnaki aliens are planning some kind of large-scale project to repair their own planet's atmosphere that require vast amounts of gold, which was comparatively plentiful on Earth. And I think that's why a lot of times UFOs are seen over desert, like rocky lands and areas. I think they're like mining, like sucking up minerals from us. And when they find pieces of craft that they look at, they can identify a lot of the minerals as minerals from us, but then there'll be like one or two that are unidentified.
Yeah.
But I think they mine from us.
Hmm.
And perhaps his wildest claim, Carson says that the aliens tweaked human DNA in a way that made us susceptible to worshiping them as gods. They inserted something called a worship gene, which was just recently discovered. Human beings have a gene inside of them that can be turned on and turned off. It can be turned on and turned off, they said again. It can be turned off in a laboratory setting. It also can be turned off with a magnetic field around your head. When it's off, you don't want to worship anything outside of yourself. You look inside. And when it's on, you look for something from the outside. So, don't know about that. But some of it does go with some theories.
Yeah.
There was another article that had come out where they were talking about something they mentioned. I don't remember now. Oh, like that there's going to be something about more talk about like, or a divide between like the biblical and alien like connection or something like that. Like it's going to start like coming out more and more, and people are going to start like debating about it more and more. Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not knocking religion in any way, but I mean, some people, believe what they believe, and the earth is only so old, but there's proof that it's older than that, and I think other races have been here, and, that pictures in cave walls of rockets and starships, and I think that's more than somebody's imagination. People drew what they saw, and yeah, that's gonna throw a monkey wrench in the original story in the Bible. Did God create earth in 7 days, and Adam and Eve were the first two people here? Maybe
I
Adam and
still
Eve
think
were cavemen, I don't know.
the great floods and like Noah's Ark, the ship was maybe a spaceship, and it was vials of DNA, 2 by 2. Because I always thought as a kid, these Bible stories don't make sense. They didn't have 2 rhinos, 2 elephants, and 2 of all this stuff on some boat. Like, that's why I couldn't get into it. It's like bullshit. Bullshit, however you try to say it. It's impossible. But vials of DNA make more sense where they're planted in different parts of, the world,
Yeah,
perhaps. Because there is a lot of like alien type drawings and like biblical things, and a lot of
Bullshit. Bullshit.
bullshit. It's bullshit.
bullshit. Bullshit.
And a lot of like cave drawings and stuff have like the and the petrographs, things just everywhere show
Yeah.
what looks like aliens everywhere. Like everybody all over the world, like in all these different spots, like have the same things. Like,
Yeah.
how did people like they didn't like get together and be like, yo, you go carve on this rock, we're gonna go carve the same thing on this rock, and we're
Yeah.
really gonna screw with people so many like 100,000 years from now.
And like the article you just read mentioned the Anunnaki, and there's like the skeletons of giants have been found. They've been found, but they keep it really hush hush because in modern religion times, I mean, how are you going to explain it? Well, in the Bible, there's the story about David and Goliath. Goliath is supposedly this huge, I mean, was he one of them? Maybe. Or was he just a big dude? How big was Goliath? He's supposed to be a giant.
Did you see that Wi-Fi story a couple of days ago?
Which one?
Wi-Files, I mean, where they're talking about the giants and the other pyramid, like the giant lady named something.
No, I missed that one.
Fish kept saying, and like how the blocks were put.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. I have lots of questions.
Lots of questions.
Maybe I'll never get the answers. Yeah. Well, moving on to another weird story. Doesn't involve giants. Maybe it does. I don't know. Zimbabwean cops abandoned the police station due to alleged goblin attacks. Goblins? Goblins, you say? A police station in Zimbabwe sits abandoned after cops refused to remain in the building due to what they claim are goblins tormenting them at all hours of the night. According to a local media report, the bizarre case came to light last month when officers in the community of Buljima informed their superiors of the strange supernatural situation. We built a police station for the officers, and initially they patrolled in pairs, a local official said. Specifically, the concerned cops explained that they were being harassed by goblins in the form of physical attacks, doors opening on their own, and things climbing on the roof. To this point, they found it impossible to sleep in the building. In a testament to how such supernatural entities are taken seriously in Zimbabwe, officer superiors pledged that they wouldn't endanger them any further and ordered the station to be abandoned. Alas, attempts to find an alternative base for the police proved futile, leading local officials to express hope that they could somehow convince the frightened cops to come back to the goblin haunted building. I'd be like, no, hell no, there's goblins up in there. I ain't coming back.
You said goblins? You lost me at goblins.
Goblins.
You lost me at goblins.
Ain't messing with no goblins. How am I supposed to sleep when there goblins climbing on the roof? Nope.
I'm not playing with no goblins.
Ain't playing with no goblins. Goblins.
Don't fuck with no goblins.
I don't fuck with no goblins.
I don't fuck with you.
Man.
I mean, for real, man.
Yeah, I ain't gonna mess with no goblins.
The Giant Center Malta, yes. Yes, that is the one. The Giant Center Malta.
Goblins on the roof.
For real. Hi, Ulrich. Oops, I just got kicked out of... Okay, I'll go back after I read. Got kicked out of the YouTube. How's my panda bear with the thyroid? That's why she's so skinny too. So now she gets medicine every month also.
Yeah, our goblins really
got the thyroid at the same time. How's that happen? How's that happen? They're not the same breed. They're just different ages. How do kitchen cats develop a thyroid thing? Anyhow, people often say, I wish I had an extra pair of hands. Well, now you could. Robotic. Oh, nope. Robotic prosthetic enables a wearer to do tasks of two hands with just one. Oh, I can already picture the jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Scientists have created a robotic prosthetic that enables the wearer to carry out tasks which would usually take two hands to do with just one. Calling the third thumb, the extra digit attaches to the edge of the right hand and lets the user open drink bottles, peel a banana, and even thread a needle with just one hand.
Banana, huh?
A banana. It also allows for the user to multitask better, say for parents who are cooking while holding a baby. The third thumb is worn on the opposite side of the palm to the wearer's actual thumb and is controlled by a pressure sensor placed under each big toe. The third thumb is worn on the opposite side of the palm to the wearer's actual thumb, so probably like under the pinky, and is controlled by a pressure sensor placed under each big toe. So what, do they have like a wire that runs down them? What if,
I'll
like,
see you with my extra large pinky.
I will choke you with my one hand. These toe sensors are wirelessly connected to the thumb and control different movements by responding to subtle changes in pressure. And if you tripped and you did something, you like were holding your baby and it just like
popped its head like a grape. Whoops.
A study by the University of Cambridge revealed volunteers quickly adapted to having the extra digit, which scientists say could advance our motor capabilities beyond current biological limitations. It made me think of like a lizard or like a dino's like extra toe. Participants were tasked with carrying out small tasks that required fine motor skills, such as putting pegs into a basket and moving objects. The study found 98% of volunteers were able to move the thumb within the first minute of use. Researchers at the university's MRC Cognition and Brain Science Unit believe the prosthetic could be particularly useful to amputees who have difficulty carrying out everyday tasks with just one hand. Study author Lucy said, our everyday lives are already consumed by wearable technologies, and we are now seeing an increasing number of specially augmented technologies. We're seeing an increasing number of specifically augmented technologies be developed. The third thumb can be used to extend the function of the hand, so any task that requires carrying multiple objects at a time or stabilizing one item whilst performing a task with another. The third thumb was first revealed by researcher Danny Claude as part of an award-winning graduate project back in 2017. Previously, Tamar, a professor of cognitive neuroscience at Cambridge, said the brain's ability to adapt to an extra limb was extraordinary. She added that much of the technology required to build an incredible add-on for the human body, such as wings or tentacles, already exists.
I'll see you with my dew claw.
Wings or tentacles?
Wings or tentacles?
I'm going to jam you in the eye with my third thumb. With my opposable second thumb.
So I guess if you had them on both hands, you'd have a third and a fourth thumb?
Dude, you would have an extra set of hands for real. You'd be able to do the 4 things that you couldn't do. And I'm confused, like, if they're talking about multitasking and amputees, if one hand works fine and then they give people, their hand, like, why they still would need the extra thumb? I don't know.
Yeah, I've been working on stuff before, and I'm like, damn it, I wish I had an extra hand or an extra thumb. Or
like tying that ribbon when you're trying to tie a bow.
Yeah. Or like when I was working on my tractor, I'm like, damn, I wish I had an 8-year-old little Asian kid hand right now that I could fit in here.
Or like working in a car.
Yeah. I need like an 8-year-old's hand. It's like, where's the engineer that designed this? Was he like 10 years old? Probably. Because a normal adult human hand does not fit in here. Oh, to get this one nut off, I need to go to the store and get a $56 wrench, specialty wrench.
Oh, you could change the valve yourself, but you need a special tool.
Yeah.
That you can rent at Harbor Freight for like 3 times less than what you're charging.
I finally did get my tractor running good, though.
Woohoo.
Ordered a new carburetor. Got it in. Took the old carburetor, took the engine apart, put the new carburetor on. Didn't run worth a shit. No matter what I did, didn't want to run right. Finally, after I took it off, rechecked it, put it back on, took it off again, cleaned it, put it back on, even though it was brand new. My friend was like, I don't know, there's got to be some trash or something in the carburetor. It's not running right. Mm-hmm. Took it off 3 times, and I was like, son of a bitch, I'm done. 3 is my limit on everything. That's when I throw it across the yard, I guess. And went and got the old carburetor, the original one, took it all apart. It was filthy. Cleaned it, cleaned all the ports, all the jets, put it all back.
Rebuilt it.
Yep, put that back on, fired it up, and ran perfect the rest of the day. So
I'm glad it's working. It's going to save you some headache.
yeah.
Do you have another one?
Nope.
All right. Well, I have a quickie, and it's ridiculous that you guys are going to remember her, and I'm only doing it because we've been following this whole wacky adventure with her, and I can't remember her ex-husband's name.
Richard or something. I forget what his name was. Voldemort.
Woman who divorced ghost says he's jealous after she adopts a possessed clown. Brocardi, from Oxfordshire, says she married a ghost in 2017 and got divorced from him when he was accused of cheating. And now he's jealous after she's adopted a clown. A woman who says she's married then divorced a ghost has adopted a possessed clown. Wait, a woman who says she married then divorced a ghost has adopted a possessed clown, but says it made her ex jealous. Brocardi, 40, tied the knot with Victorian soldier Spook Eduardo. Eduardo then split with him when she accused him of cheating and then stalking her. The singer and songwriter has now adopted a possessed clown after connecting with him when spending the night at the Clown Motel in Nevada. She toured the USA with the clown doll, then has returned home to Oxfordshire with it to conduct a paranormal investigation on him. Don't you do the investigations before you travel around the background checks, like before you travel the world with someone?
Well, that's a normal relationship person.
But
is this the same girl that became a witch like in a day?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah. Same one.
And there'll be some of that. And does not want but she says her ex Eduardo has become jealous and does not want that clown in the house. Ghost magnate Brocardi encountered the possessed clown while touring the world filming a series of haunted locations for her TV show pilot. So none of this has anything to do with, her TV show. Exactly. And I wouldn't even be giving her this much, clout or, but it's just so ridiculously funny and we've been following it for so long. I don't care.
We should get her on the show.
For real. With Eduardo. Will Eduardo talk?
So she's divorced from Eduardo, but it sounds like Eduardo still lives in the house.
Yeah, he's still stalking and haunting her, it sounds like.
Yeah.
She said Eduardo has so far been placid about with her communicating with other spirits, and the couple rarely make contact these days, but his unrested soul seems to be rattled at the thought of her bringing another ghost over the threshold. She said, I can instantly tell when Eduardo has a point to make. His energy is very powerful. His presence has been very manageable these days, and I only see him from time to time. He does not like the clown, though. He watches him, and I keep finding the clown by the door. Being subtle is not Eduardo's strong point. He has nothing to be concerned about, as I have no intention of marrying a clown ghost. Although that still would be funny. The clown here is here for research purposes only, and I definitely don't need to get into a paranormal love triangle. I know the clown is possessed, so perhaps Eduardo has picked up on some bad energy and is just looking out for me. I'm fascinated by the prospect of spirit vessels and haunted objects. It's a whole new world for me, so I'm trying to learn and absorb as much as possible. That's why I've enjoyed filming this series so much, as I'm meeting people who've had fascinating ghost adventures, not unlike myself. On a trip to the famous clown motel, Brocardi instantly gravitated toward the clown and connected with it due to their love of theater and performing, she says. She says the spirit trapped inside the clown immediately revealed to Brocardi that he was a carnival clown and that he was a. Oh, so I guess you find the vessel closest resembling what you were in real life, perhaps?
Hmm.
Or that was just a lucky break. Tortured Soul spent his day performing for audiences that didn't care and ridiculed him for not being funny. Maybe that's why he looks so pissed. When I connected with spirits, it's often their emotions that I connect with first. Sometimes an unrested spirit attaches itself to a physical entity. In this case, this clown doll had once been owned by or come in contact with a man who worked as a clown, she said. This man was tortured by his dreams of stardom, but was condemned to life in the carnival where he was underappreciated. I suppose as an artist, I can relate to this, so I feel that's why he chose me to convey the message. Brocardi instantly felt like she wanted to rescue the clown, and the motel agreed to let her adopt him to conduct a full paranormal investigation to see if she could find more information or even capture evidence of his possession. They're probably like, that's a big charge though, because if it's haunted, like this is bringing like, you know, people to the hotel,
Yeah.
taking all our ghosts home. I felt compelled to learn more about this man, and I felt that he wanted to be rescued, she added. The Clown Motel is a competitive environment for clowns. There are hundreds of them, all competing for the visitor's attention. So I wanted to see how he would behave in different environments. At the moment, I only know snippets of information about him, so over the coming months, I'm going to try and understand more. The Clown Motel has largely been reported as one of the most haunted locations in Nevada. After a night alone in the motel, Brocardi has also revealed her thoughts on why this may be. She said the motel is fascinating as many murders have been reported on the site over the years. And the circumstances of a lot of deaths have been unpleasant. It's believed that there are dark forces at work in that area as it sits near a portal. There is also a graveyard across the car park, so it's not the most cheerful of places, ironically, hence the clowns. It's believed a lot of the ghosts still live here, and some have possessed the clowns in the museum. The clowns have been donated from all over the world, and I believe some have spiritual attachments that predate their arrival at the museum, like the one I adopted. After leaving the Clown Motel, Brocardi traveled across the USA with the clown by her side. She's taken him to Hollywood. They've even had a wild night out in Las Vegas. But so far, there's only been subtle movements and signs of possession. So far, he's been a peaceful entity. He's often moving on his own, but nothing that would cause me alarm. I'm hoping that doesn't change now. I have two ghosts in the house. I would be worried, that while you're driving with him, he like jerked the steering wheel or something.
Yeah, really.
Or you're like driving and you're like looking in your rearview mirror and all of a sudden it like pops up in the mirror and it's like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
That's always one of my things I think about at night, like when I'm in a creepy place, is okay, if I look in the rearview mirror and a weird creepy face is looking back at me, don't freak out and drive crazy. Just expect there might be a crazy face in the mirror and don't freak out and drive off the road.
Yeah, really. Don't careen don't Sonny Bono a tree,
Yeah, that would not be a good time.
Oh, man.
You got a little video for us?
Yep. Debbie's here just in time for Crystal of the Week. This week's Crystal of the Week is Vivianite. What is Vivianite? Vivianite is an iron phosphate mineral that was found in Cornwall, UK, named after the late John Henry Vivian, who had discovered it in 1817. Vivianite has been seen in stone and crystal form and has been noted to be a variety of colors, such as blue, green, and sometimes even colorless. The finest crystal specimens have come out of mines in Bolivia, but have been known to be in Brazil, Mexico, and the USA. Some of the meanings and energy of Vivianite. It's a stone that helps one dive deep into their heart, healing wounds new and old. It brings gentleness and awareness to some who may not normally tend to share those qualities while bringing compassion about yourself and others around you. Vivianite is a stone full of peace and love and will relight the care you may have lost for the closest people around you, as well as unlocking the heart. Vivianite also assists in removing negativity and unwanted energies from your mind, body, and auric field. For people who are dealing with depression and anxiety about yourself, Vivianite is highly recommended for you. It will help take away that feeling of being uncomfortable in your own skin and aid in embracing the beauty in yourself physically. Vivianite can help in the healing of the body as well. It helps healing of the eyes, especially if one has cataracts or pink eye. Vivianite also helps strengthen the bones and is recommended for anyone showing signs of senility. Some good stones to work with Vivianite. It works well with other heart strengthening stones, like rose quartz. Vivianite will heal even the deepest subconscious wounds people may not think they carry daily. Working with moldavite or phenacite in conjunction with Vivianite will bring the mind to a higher vibration while channeling through the enlightened heart energy caused by Vivianite. It's a great stone to meditate with. There you go, a little bit about this week's Crystal of the Week, Vivianite. Wowzer, the music was a little loud in that one. Yeah, that is a cool one.
It wasn't too bad. Yeah, it sounds like a good one.
I went to school with Vivianite. That girl was crazy.
I knew a girl at school that had Vivianite. That didn't land the way I. Wow, on Etsy there's it's $6 for like 2 wands of like a blue and a green, like broken little crystal piece. I
Oh,
don't know. You get both of them, I think, for the price, but they're like the little. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
That's not a bad price just to have a couple little pieces like that. Almost reminds me of kyanite,
Yeah.
the way like the blades look.
Yep.
Why would I send you? Oh, I didn't mean to hit the dumb star.
Star child.
It's star seed.
Mm.
Wow, there's one of them that's huge. It looks like a pencil. That's like $367.
Wow.
And they have some like little like capsule looking things that have it in it. So you could probably get like a decent piece for not too much. I'm still waiting tomorrow. I should get, or by Friday, I'll be getting my quartz garden stone point.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's going to be one of the taller ones or the squattier ones, but usually I get what's meant for me, and I've been pretty happy with what I've gotten so far. Wow, this piece is gorgeous. Look at this one. I would want it in this matrix and everything. Reminds me of like the sword in the stone.
Yeah, it's somewhat reasonable for smaller pieces.
I would want some pieces like I first showed you, like that first one on the number one, or it's purple, that I sent you the picture of.
That piece is only
Oh,
two,
holy shite.
and it's not really that big. Look at that.
Wow. Ah, and then it could break so easy. That's why those like shards I showed you were like, oh, because there's a lot on it. I don't know.
$2,000. Wow.
Those shards I showed you, though, because they're crystal, I think they'd have good vibration.
Yeah. So you look at it like that, and I'm thinking, oh, it's probably like,
At least, yeah, like.
tall or something.
Mhm.
And then when you see how big it is, it's like, oh, it's like 3 inches.
Like I'm picturing at least like this,
Yeah.
like this size. We're not sizes.
Look at the price on that one.
Oh wow! You heard what Linda said?
$16,000.
Ay ay ay.
Ay, 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 ay.
I open these muchachos.
Yeah, wow.
That was cute.
Yeah, there's like all different prices.
I've been like drawn to my Amazonite lately.
Yeah, that's a cool stone.
I don't know why, but like just lately, I had to look up like what it's good for again.
Like Amazonite, and I like blue calcite, and what's the other one that you just recently?
Celestine.
No.
Oh, but
The hell's the name of it? It's real pretty blue.
the heart or the Celestine.
I'm having a brain fart.
Was it the cluster?
Oh man, I can't remember the name of it.
Because I don't really have the blue. I mean, I have the little heart that starts with an L that looks like ocean.
Yeah, that's it.
Larimar or something.
There you go, Larimar. That's it. Totally brain fart in the name.
Oh, it looks like
Larimar. Yeah, that's really pretty. stuff.
You did make me snort. Like you caught that, didn't you?
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm supposed to go to, speaking of gems and minerals and crystals, got the
no.
Rock and Gem Society meeting tomorrow night that'll be going to. So who knows? May come home with a cool rock. It's just a rock, man. Why?
And then next week we can show your rock. We can show my rock.
There you go. Like a rock. Groovy.
And laughter, blessed be, and good night to all. Wait, that says good note. Good night.
Good note.
Good note.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Cool. Thanks for hanging out with us again. And exactly. Rock will never die.
Never.
Catch you next week for Weird Wednesday and probably see you for some paranormal soup.
Yeah.
Some land.
Is it open line night?
I have no idea.
I think it might be because
Might be.
we have, I guess, this. You hear the cat snoring?
I do.
We had, I guess, last week.
Yep.
Wait, why are you making? Oh, it's who is making that? It's like a cat hospital in here. Peace and love.
All right. See y'all later. Thanks for hanging out with us. Love y'all. We'll see you next
Leave
time.
it on 13. Lucky number 13.
Yeah, there you go. Good night.